Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Well, the chickens have come home to roost here at Not Fit for Print Beauty. Yes, they have. I come on here so often. Every brand is reformulating and reformulating and reformulating. And I always go, oh, for those of you who love this product dearly, you might be worried because it's being reformulated. I'm so sorry if you're sad. Blah, blah, blah. This time it's happened to me. It's happened to me. You guys know that I absolutely love, I talk about it all the time, the Armani Power Fabric Concealer. Well, gosh darn it, they've gone and reformulated it. That's right. That's right. And I actually have half of my face done in the old formula and half done in the new formula. Oh, da, da, da. So we have a lot to, I did my own sound effect that time. So we have a lot to talk about, including, yes, the return of my famous Dark Pits of Despair and the music that goes along with it. All right, so let's talk about it a little bit. Why have they reformulated it? I don't know. There's lots of talk. All of these reformulations are also producing a few conspiracy theories. Some of them are quite interesting. Here's what the happy people say about reformulation. They are helping the environment. They are getting rid of bad things, ingredients that have been banned, ingredients that could be harmful, and using much more natural and sustainable ingredients. And we're seeing this across the board. Dior is doing it. Armani is doing it. Oh gosh, everybody really. They're slowly getting to every beloved product. You know, that's why I'm saying the chickens came home to roost. They finally got to mine. The detractors are saying that a few things. They're saying that they can't get the products, they can't get certain stuff. Certain things have been, as the other side says, banned for better or for worse, and so they are reformulating because they have to, and they are putting a marketing spin on it. Yeah, it's new, it's improved, and it's better for the earth, and they find that disingenuous. Yeah, you can form your own opinion. I'm not taking an opinion, I'm just reporting here. Don't shoot the messenger, as they say. Some are even saying that because it's all natural and clean, we're seeing a lot of things with 6-month shelf lives now. For instance, yes, this new one has a 6-month shelf life. So that's the question. Are they just doing it because it's clean and you have to throw it away? And they can, I don't know. You know, you can weigh in the below. And I see in my comment section, whenever I talk about reformulations, I see arguments on both sides, and you're welcome to put that below. Be respectful to each other, of course, but you know, you're welcome to decide what you think. But at any rate, they've gone and done it. This has this is the new one in a little bit of a more frosted glass. I think this is the old. It has a little bit of a shinier glass. You know, this new one comes in 18 shades and it's $40. It's reformulated. It's matte. These are one of my, the original was one that I used always on my concealer spectrum. I have a spectrum of concealers, how they run from lightest to thickest. The thickest usually I use Pat McGrath or the KVD Good Apple. And for my kind of thinnest, most viscous formula, I usually use the Armani Power Fabric. How is that going to be after we try this out? I don't know. So we'll have to see. Kind of interesting. We are going to put old and new head to head and hope that it doesn't break my heart. So let's go to the demo, and then we are going to wear it for a while and see if they wear the same or if one is better. Stick with me. Okay, there's nothing on my face at all. And, geez, I feel like I've done, at this point, probably honestly like 20 concealer and brightener and color correcting videos. But please remember, I'm sorry that it seems so repetitive. Please remember, we do have new people joining us. So I will do a quick little repeat of what I generally do. We are going to do a little bit of a wear test. We're going to put the old Armani formula on one side of my face and the new formula on the other and see if there's any real difference. Let me quickly show you what we are working with. Let me tell you, I'm glad I'm married, because if I were not, this would definitely not be a photo or a look that would be on a dating profile. That's for sure. It's not really good. Let me show you what we're working with. I get redness around my nose. I have a blemish somewhere around here. It's not very pretty. Some redness on the cheeks, little ruddiness, and of course, the star of the show, what I like to call the Dark Pits of Despair, which is this area right in here on both sides, and a little bit of something, I don't know, genetic, a little bit of veins that show through right there. They don't stick out or anything, but they show. We are not using a color corrector today, and normally I have been using my beloved Tarte color corrector, but today we are going to use this Armani all by itself and just see if it's any different and what it will be like. Now, the playing field is not completely even here for two reasons. Number one, the one that I found and brought out that I loved, I had this in every shade. So the one that I found and brought out from my collection is shade 3.5. I have everything from shade 3 to 5.5. So I found a 3.5, and the new one I bought is a little more accurate in shade 4. Slight shade difference. I'm sorry. That will be a bit of a problem. Also, this is seasoned. What I mean by that is it's just been around a little bit longer. Therefore, the consistency might be different. There's no really way to get around that unless I bought a brand new in-box old formula, which I guess I could have done. At any rate, here we're going to go ahead and put this on. So this is the old formula. This is not the new. This is the old formula, and we're just going to kind of apply it all over. This is the old formula, and I loved it, and I see why I loved it. I'm going to poke it out my face. I have nothing on over this. I generally would do concealer after I do foundation, but for these videos, I do it first. It really doesn't matter. Do what you feel best. Ideally, if you could take me seriously with these polka dots all over my face, ideally I would do color corrector, foundation, concealer. That's usually my order. We change it up a little bit. I have two different brushes here so they don't infect each other. I'm letting this just kind of mellow out a little bit. You can go ahead and smooth it in right afterwards, but I'm just kind of letting it mellow out. This is such a good concealer, and it's kind of always been my go-to. I admit that recently my head has been turned by others. This is lovely over my beloved Tarte corrector, but it's a job hazard. I look at so many concealers that I do tend to kind of end up going with what's new. I admit that. You can't help but have your head turned. But I mean, this is a good viscous, it's kind of flowy concealer that's easy to blend. And, I'm still in love with it. And that's a little bit too light for me. I'm going to put foundation over the top, so who cares? All right, let's take a look then at the new one. Here's our new one in a little bit of a better shade. We have a more frosted, so there's a good way to tell them apart. I don't know if that's showing, but this is the new one. It's got kind of a frosted rather than clear and shiny glass. Okay, so let's see what they've done with this new formulation. It smells concealery, which means not really like anything. And we're going to polka dot the same way. Feels about the same. The old one feels a millimeter, if anything, thicker, which means absolutely nothing. As I said, it's seasoned. So let's see what happens. I have a clean, this is a separate Sonia G Fusion brush. Let's let it sit for a second and let's see. And then we're got to remember that the left is my left, your right. I'll remember that this is the one that was left behind the left side of my face. A way to remember it, meaning it was left behind because it's been replaced. So my left is I have to tell myself that because I'm going to go about my day and I don't want to forget. So my left is the old formula that was left behind. Interestingly enough, this doesn't blend quite as easily. It feels a bit thicker to me. Thicker, that one. This side should be thicker because it's older. But age can make a product do who knows what. Yeah, it feels a bit thicker. This side feels like I have less on it. I use the same amount of product. I really did. I mean, maybe minusculely I used more. But, ooh. And maybe it's the shade. Somehow I'm preferring this side. Am I just sad because a beloved product has reformulated without asking my permission? I don't know. Oh, it just toppled over there on the table. Okay, so I'm using my hands to press it in. I am going to add a whole makeup look and wear it for all day, actually. I'm going to film other videos with it on. You won't be able, there's a slight shade difference. You really won't be able to tell when I put makeup over it. Now, what do you think? Okay. It covered, actually, the Dark Pits of Despair. This is the new. I think the Dark Pits of Despair are covered a little bit better because it is a bit thicker. This one is a bit a looser, thinner. So it looks like the reformulation has made it a tad bit thicker. Yes, products sitting around for 6 months or so could get thinner. Usually they get thicker because of some aeration. But there's the Dark Pits of Despair with the old and with the new. Let's put makeup over this and let's just give it a wear test. That's the only way to really see if there's a difference. Stay right there. Okay, it's been 6 hours. I have put on a little bit more lip gloss, and that's it. I certainly haven't touched my eyes. I might have touched a little bit around here in those 6 hours out of habit, but I definitely haven't touched my eyes. And really, generally, where we need concealer, other than, you know, the occasional blemish and such, is around our eyes. So let's check out our Dark Pits of Despair. Let me remind you that this side, the left side, is our older formula, and this side, the right's my right, your left, is the new formula. Okay, so let's take a look at the Dark Pits of Despair, shall we? Here is the coverage with the old formula, and it ain't perfect. I have, you know, modernized my routine, and I definitely use the Tarte Color Corrector first now, but this is kind of the old way I did it. And the old way I did it probably wasn't as tired, probably didn't have as much to cover. Here is the new one. What do you guys think? I actually think this new one provides a bit more coverage. Granted, many of you will say in comments, and you will be correct, hard to compare an old formula that's been sitting in a drawer for 6 months to a new one. I don't know. I do find this a tad bit thicker, minimally, in a good way. I'm actually quite pleased by this. I mean, you know, there will be people, it is hardly scientific. There will be people in my comments who go, how would you know? People get very, very upset. How would you know? It's brand new and you opened it and you like it because it's new. Maybe. I mean, you know, I'm psychologically influenced like the rest of us. I mean, I'm hardly doing this in some sort of a sterile lab environment. We're just kind of chatting about beauty. So, you know, hold off on that a little bit. But I do seem to think it's holding up about the same, if not maybe a tad bit better. Now, you might say to me, oh, it's not really covering up the Dark Pits of Despair. And I'd agree. Generally, I would now, you know, it's not 10 years ago, 8 years ago. Generally, I would now use a color corrector first, but I'm not going to do that when we're trying the product because we need to make sure that nothing is interfering. I think actually me and those of you who rely on the Armani Power Fabric will be okay. It seems to have held up just about the same with maybe a smidgen more coverage, which is good because those of us who love the Armani Power Fabric Concealer have gotten a bit more stressed, a little bit more mature. So maybe we just need that. Maybe they went, oh my goodness, give them a bit more coverage. Heaven help them. I don't know. But anyway, I do think they're pretty comparable from what I can tell in my most non-scientific way. Let me know, did this hit home with you? And have you bought the reformulation? What do you guys think? You know, this is where we need to talk and what makes us a community. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I sure hope that you did. Hey, if you haven't already done so, make sure that you subscribe so we can continue to grow. Come on by Instagram and TikTok and say a big hello. Don't forget that you can become a bigger part of this community by becoming a channel member or by giving super thanks, which so many of you have done. But in any way that you are here, I'm just thrilled to see you, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Bye-bye.